Welcome to the Cowboys versus Ninjas podcast. We get so many requests for stories about ninjas, so today we're going to plunge into their world using some really cool flash fiction books you've all been sharing with us.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's got a fascination with these mysterious warriors, right?
Absolutely. And these stories, they're not just action-packed. They really delve into the heart of what it means to be a ninja. And we've got two especially gripping tales to share today. What I love about them is how they make you think about destiny versus choice. Like how much control do we really have over our lives? They also explore what happens when you have knowledge that others don't, that burden of knowledge, and how true strength can come from some pretty unexpected places.
Those are some seriously deep themes. I think that's why these ninja stories resonate so much with people. There's something about those shadowy figures, that blend of skill and mystery that just captures the imagination.
Right. So in our first story, Echoes of Tomorrow, we meet Hiro, and what's immediately intriguing about him is that he's got this unique ability. He sees the future.
Oh, okay. Like premonitions.
Yeah, but they're not just vague feelings, they're vivid, almost like watching a movie. And unfortunately for Hiro, a lot of what he sees is pretty disturbing stuff. His village on fire, betrayals, even his sister in some really bad situations. The story really emphasizes how unsettling and disruptive this would be.
Yeah, I can imagine that kind of knowledge, especially if it's mostly negative, would weigh heavily on you. It'd be hard to just live in the present moment?
Totally. And the real conflict kicks in when he foresees this ambush, a truly horrific one, set to happen during a routine tribute delivery. He knows it's going to be a massacre, a fiery death trap, and it's specifically aimed at his clan.
Wow, that's intense. So what does he do? Does he try to warn everyone?
He does. But, imagine being a young ninja and telling your elders who are steeped in tradition and hierarchy that you've seen the future and they're all going to die.
I can see where that might not go over so well. They probably wouldn't take him seriously.
Exactly. They dismiss him, thinking he's just having nightmares. And, it's a classic trope, isn't it? The person who sees the truth but no one believes them. It makes you wonder how many times that's happened in real history, people with crucial knowledge being ignored.
Yeah, and how different things might have turned out if they'd been listened to.
For sure. And for Hiro, it's not just some abstract danger to the clan either. In his vision, he sees his sister caught in this ambush, and that's what really pushes him over the edge. He can't just stand by and let that happen, even if it means defying his master.
It's one thing to have a sense of duty to your group, but when it's family, that takes it to a whole other level. That kind of personal connection, it makes his choice even more understandable, even heroic, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he decides to act. And being a ninja, he's incredibly resourceful. He comes up with this plan to disguise himself and his sister as traveling musicians, hiding their weapons and their instruments. They take a detour, heading straight for the ambush location instead of the assigned route.
That's pretty clever. Using their skills for something unexpected.
Right. They arrive at this mountain pass, and it's just like Hiro saw in his vision, the narrow road, the smell of wood smoke and pitch, it's all lining up perfectly, terrifyingly. But instead of attacking right away, they do something really strange. They start playing music, this haunting melody on the shamisen.
Whoa, that's unexpected. What's the strategy there?
I think he's playing on superstition. Imagine you're an ambusher ready to pounce, and suddenly you hear this mournful music drifting through the pass.
It'd be pretty unnerving. Like, is this some kind of bad omen? We're messing with spiritual forces here?
Exactly. It introduces doubt, hesitation, and that's all Hiro needs.
So it's like psychological warfare. He's messing with their heads.
Yeah. And just as those ambushers are starting to freak out, Hiro's clan arrives, totally unaware of the danger they're walking into. That's when Hiro and his sister attack, hitting them from the rear. The music shifts, too, from a mournful tune to a battle cry.
That's awesome. I can just picture it. The chaos, the surprise, the sudden shift in the music. So they win. They defeat the ambushers.
They do. It's a total victory, thanks to Hiro's foresight and that clever use of music. But of course, the aftermath is tense. The clan is confused, and their master wants answers. Sword drawn, he demands an explanation from Hiro.
Yeah, I bet he's furious. Disobeying orders, putting the whole clan at risk, that's a huge deal.
It is. And Hiro, he could lie, make up some story, but he chooses to tell the truth. He confesses to seeing the future.
Wow, that's a risky move. He's basically admitting to something that might make people fear him, ostracize him.
It is, and the master, he's conflicted. He's angry about the disobedience, the disrespect for tradition, but he also can't deny that Hiro saved them all.
He's probably thinking, this kid broke all the rules, but we're alive because of him. That's gotta be tough to reconcile.
Yeah, it's a clash between old ways and a very new reality. And here's where Hiro's sister steps up again. She defends him, tells the master that this gift needs to be nurtured, not punished. And I think her words have a real impact on the master.
It's like she's saying, look, this is a part of him, and it has the potential to be a powerful asset to the clan. We need to figure out how to work with it.
Exactly. And in the end, the master, he kind of grudgingly accepts it. He acknowledges that Hiro's ability could be valuable, but emphasizes that duty and discipline are still paramount. It's not a complete endorsement, but it's a step forward.
It's a compromise. He's trying to find a way to integrate this new element, this unpredictable ability, into their traditional way of life.
Exactly. So Hiro gets this new role, they call him the Shadow Walker, and he becomes their forward scout, using his visions to guide them to anticipate dangers.
That's pretty cool. He's basically their early warning system.
Yeah, but it comes at a cost.
Yeah.
The story makes it clear that it's a lonely existence. He's set apart from the others, carrying this weight of knowledge that they don't share.
It's a burden, but it's also a kind of freedom, right? He has a unique perspective, a way of seeing the world that others don't.
That's a great point. It's both. Okay, so let's move on to our second story, The Heart of the Scroll. This one introduces us to Yuki, and he's a young ninja entrusted with a really important task: delivering an ancient scroll to a remote mountain monastery.
Sounds straightforward enough. What's so challenging about that?
Well, for starters, he's young, and he's clearly feeling the weight of this responsibility. The story emphasizes how heavy the scroll is, both physically and symbolically. It's like he's carrying the fate of something much bigger than himself.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be pretty intimidating, especially for a young ninja.
And to make matters worse, on the third night of his journey, he finds himself being hunted by these shadowy figures, described as inhuman and menacing.
Ooh, that's creepy. Not your average bandits.
Not at all. It's clear that they're after the scroll and that they're not going to hesitate to use force. Yuki manages to escape into the forest and eventually finds this shallow cave to hide in.
So he's trapped. What does he do?
Well, he's terrified, and he starts thinking about the scroll, about the potential horrors it might contain. He's really grappling with the idea that this object, this thing he's been entrusted with, could be incredibly dangerous if it falls into the wrong hands.
That adds a whole other layer to the danger. He's not just worried about his own life, but also about the consequences of failing his mission.
Exactly. But then, in this moment of despair, he remembers something his old sensei told him. True power lies not in things, boy, but within you.
Ah, classic wisdom from the master. I bet that comes in handy.
It does. It's like that seed of inner strength that was planted way back then starts to take root.
He's starting to realize that he has the power to deal with this, even if he doesn't quite know how yet.
Right. And then something truly wild happens. As these shadowy figures are closing in, Yuki tries to destroy the scroll. He figures it's better to get rid of it than let them have it.
Wow, that's a tough decision. But I can see the logic in that moment.
Yeah, but as he's about to tear it, he hesitates. And that's when the scroll reacts. It warms beneath his touch and starts pulsing with his heartbeat. Light emanates from it, and he feels this surge of courage.
Well, hold on. The scroll comes alive.
It's like it's responding to his inner state, to his determination. Maybe it's magic, maybe it's symbolic, but it's definitely a turning point. Yuki realizes that the scroll wasn't just some object. It's connected to him, to his spirit, to his training.
It's almost like it's amplifying his abilities, helping him tap into something he didn't know he had.
Exactly. He confronts those attackers, and he's not the scared kid anymore. He's decisive, strategic. He doesn't try to kill them, but focuses on repelling them, using his ninja skills, and get this, he tears a strip from the scroll and uses the sacred words written on it to bind one of those creatures.
He's using the scroll itself as a weapon. That's pretty creative.
Yeah, and it works. The shadow figures retreat, and Yuki's left standing, exhausted but victorious. He's been through this trial by fire and come out the other side stronger.
It's like he's graduated to a new level. He's not just following orders anymore. He's making his own choices, finding his own strength.
Absolutely. And when he finally arrives at the monastery, the scroll a little worse for wear, the elder doesn't even seem to care about the damage. He looks at Yuki and sees something different in him, something changed.
It's like he's saying, the scroll is important, but what you've learned, that's what truly matters.
Right. And Yuki, he even offers a new interpretation of the scroll's purpose. He suggests that maybe it wasn't just meant to be hidden away, but to be found by the right person at the right time, someone who could interact with its power in a meaningful way.
Interesting. So it wasn't just about keeping it safe. It was about finding someone who could unlock its potential.
Yeah. And the elder, he agrees. He says that while secrets and objects hold a certain power, it's the inner strengths, the open heart, that has the real potential to change the world.
Powerful stuff. It's a reminder that we all have that potential within us.
So there you have it. Two incredible stories, two very different ninjas, but both dealing with these universal themes of destiny, duty, and inner strength.
Yeah, and both showing us that even when things seem bleak, we have the power to overcome challenges and even change our own destinies.
In Echoes of Tomorrow, we saw what happens when you have to go against the grain, even defy authority, to do what you believe is right. It makes you think about those times in your own life when you might have had a gut feeling about something, an intuition that was telling you to do something different, even if it went against what everyone else was saying. What if you'd listened to that inner voice?
And the heart of the scroll, it really drives home the point that true strength isn't about what you possess, but what you discover within yourself. We all have that potential, even when we don't realize it. It makes you wonder, what scroll is waiting for you? What challenge or responsibility is out there that could unlock a strength you never knew you had?
These stories, they're just a glimpse into the world of ninjas, but they offer some really profound insights.
For sure. And if you want more, definitely check out those flash fiction collections you mentioned. There are so many great tales out there just waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed these stories, let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts, what resonated with you, what questions you still have. And please don't forget to rate and follow the Cowboys versus Ninjas podcast for more epic adventures and masterful storytelling.
We'll be back with more soon.
See you then.